Thank you for bearing with us, everybody, while we run off to take our quick break. We are back, and I will hand things over to Kevin.
Hey, just as a recap, our intrepid crew of the USS Griffin has rescued the freighter Star of Lafandi from some nefarious Orion pirates, only to find that their work is never done, that there is an expatriate colony of former Federation members who are in danger of finding themselves behind Klingon lines, and so they must plunge into the Cerulean Crown Nebula in order to rescue them from their poor choices. The nebula is Class E, which blocks subspace communications, so you can't just give them a call. So as we're journeying there, we're going to sort of have a montage time that we can sort of demonstrate some more rules of the system. The difficulties of your tasks typically are 1 to 5, although there are occasionally difficulty 0 tasks. And those are sort of built in so that the players can generate momentum in non-critical times to build up that pool, so that they have it to draw on when it's necessary. So we didn't get, unfortunately, the dice were against us in our first combat there, so there wasn't a whole lot of extra momentum build up. So to research the colony is a difficulty 0 task. They're on a Federation starship with extensive data banks. But if they want a chance to generate momentum, so in other words, I can just give them information that they get without making a roll, or they can roll in hopes of generating extra momentum, which they can either spend to get additional information of their choosing, or they can bank. The risk, however, is they may roll a complication. And I can have something bad happen on the spot as the complication, or as the GM, I can bank that threat so that later I can use it to sort of wheel out what I'm doing. One of the things about the system that I find intriguing, I mean, GM fiat has always been a thing as long as there have been role-playing games, but like the players have a little more, I guess, confidence knowing how much fiat the GM can bring to the table. And there's things that they can do to increase that, or get me to spend it to decrease it. So the ship is approaching the Cerulean Crown Nebula at high speed. So crew, do you wish to just take your information without a roll, or do we want to risk rolling and getting extra momentum, extra information with the possible risk of complication?
I'd say risk it for the biscuit.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So
that's a really strange way to put that, but sure.
All right. So this is one of those things. Player characters can assist. You can use the ship's computers to assist. To my thought, insight and either command or science would make sense in terms of just doing the historical research. The player characters, one of the nice things about the system, the players who are assisting don't have to do the exact same thing. Again, this system is designed to encourage the players to look at what their character does well, find a way to help that add to the overall success of whatever is at hand. So not just looking at attributes and disciplines, but what values, what focuses, what talents do you have to maximize your dice pool. And again, the caveat is whoever the main actor is rolls 2d20. All of the assisters roll 1d20. You can purchase extra dice. The ship can assist. In this instance, the ship would use its computers and command, which would be a combined task number of 10. So someone can roll a d20 for the ship. Anything 10 or less will add a success to the pool. The caveat in the system is the main actor must get at least 1 success on their own, or else all the assistance in the world doesn't really matter. But again, when you have the ability to buy bonus dice and things, there's lots of ways to make that work out. Okay, so who wants to be our main investigator?
I think I'm qualified to assist, but I would leave it to somebody else to be the main actor.
Okay.
I mean, I guess it depends on what exactly it is we're
you're basically researching the colony that you're trying to get to. Mm-hmm. So that would be insight and command. there isn't really sometimes in this system because there's no skills that we're kind of used to. Sometimes your attribute and discipline combo might sound wonky, and that's why it's designed that the player characters can advocate for a different choice. Control because it's, or I'm sorry, insight because you're like trying to figure things out, and there isn't really a discipline that fits history. So you know, history of a civilian colony. So command kind of tends to be the catch-all when you're trying to get something done, and it doesn't really fall under the other disciplines. I mean, driving the ship is con. That one's pretty. That one's pretty like straightforward and obvious.
Well, my insight and command isn't bad. I've got a 12 and a 3 in that.
That means a 15 or less will be a success. A natural one is always two successes. Do you have any focuses that would increase your critical success range?
Not unless it's an alien colony. Then I've got xenobiology, but my other stuff is mostly medicine or therapy.
Well, it's not. It's not purely a human colony. It is people who wanted to avoid the political entanglements of the Federation. So it is. So
I'm gonna throw out. Hey, Kevin.
I'm sorry, what?
So go ahead, Kevin.
I was just gonna say. So again, it's designed. The focuses, especially, and values, are meant to be nebulous so that you sort of can wrap it around your character and make that work. So I would allow your xenobiology to count as a applicable focus.
To that point, I actually have cultural studies, xenobiology, and astrophysics and geology for
Okay.
the planet and the nebula. I would apply like the planet, the nebula, and then the.
Yes. So now I guess the question becomes, which of you has the higher command discipline?
Mine's a 3.
Same.
Okay. So, I mean, that either one of you would have that increased. So any roll that's 3 or less would count as 2 successes instead of just a natural 1. So either one of you would be a good person to be the main investigator.
Well, I'm happy to hand it over to the science officer to do the main, and then I can assist since I'm a
Yes.
quick study. And
Now, but even assisting, your focus still counts. So if you roll a 3 or less, you would still get 2 successes, even as an assister. You're rolling 1 less d20, but that's, you know, again, you have that same. So as you two are doing your investigation and the ship, since the two of you are acting, Wiki, do you want to roll for the ship?
I will certainly roll for the ship.
So the ship needs a 10 or less. And unlike characters, ships are always assumed to have an applicable focus. So if you roll a 3 or less for the ship, that will count as 2 successes.
So just rolling 1d20, correct?
Yes, yes. Assisters roll 1d20. The main actor rolls at least 2.
I have given 1 success.
Oh, this
Ship
where
is
we don't
given a
want the
critical
dice.
success.
I got 1 success.
Okay, so Wiki got 2 successes. Jonesy got 1, and Alex got 1. Okay, so right, so the ship was very helpful. Unlike that freighter, which isn't real big on huge data banks for running stuff, like your Starfleet ships, you know, these computers are built for trivial pursuit, right? You're ready to go. So with a difficulty of 0, you got no complications, so that's good. You got 4 successes. Okay, so I will give you the information that came with your success, and then you can decide, do you want to spend some of those 4 momentum points for additional information, or do you want to bank them? Now keep in mind, you're only going to be able to bank 3 of those 4 points because 6 is the max of the momentum pool. Right, so what you learn from your basic success, the Fairhaven colony was established 20 years after the founding of the Federation. They felt as though the rapid expansion of the Federation was only going to spark further interstellar conflict. Remember the Federation? Oh, I shouldn't say remember. I keep forgetting. Not everybody's a big Trek nerd like me. The Federation was founded 1 year after the end of the Earth-Romulus War, and so these people felt as though, you know, we've bumped into the Klingons, whoever these mysterious Romulans are. the Orions are a power that's on the wane, but they're still out there. This is too much. We're pushing, the Alpha Quadrant and Beta Quadrant towards, an interstellar war. Like, no, we need to get away. So they chose a Class M planet tucked away in the outer reaches of a nebula that blocked, it interferes with subspace communication, which is a little odd, assuming, unless they intended to completely seal themselves off from the galaxy, that seems a bit extreme. You do know that there are some independent freighter pilots who occasionally make journeys there. So it is not completely isolated. So it might be possible to track down someone who's been there. Again, not necessarily a rabbit hole to go down, but just it's an option. The nebula is on the fringes of Klingon space. Until recently, it was part of the Orion Merchant League's territory, but given the recent political change, they are ceding control of that region to the Klingons, who have made their intent clear that pirates are done popping in and out of the nebula for the little sneaky raids, because they're gonna, drop the hammer. So what that means for these people of the Fairhaven colony, you don't know. Multiple species from various Federation worlds, their unifying factor seems to be a distaste for interstellar politics and a desire to not be involved in all that. Now, being where they are, they're not. It's not as if they went, beyond the Federation border into unknown space, which would be risky for a variety of reasons that we don't need to go into here. So they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. They're isolated, but they're not far from the beaten track should they want or need something from the galaxy at large. Okay, so that's the basic information. So you have 4 momentum points. So one of the things that you can spend momentum for in this game, for additional information, it allows you to ask a specific question, and it's incumbent on me to give you an honest answer to that. If that would complicate the adventure, I might sort of buy that off from you, which of course then I guess is a bit of a red flag. But it's sort of that player GM trust that if you're spending momentum for extra information, I should give you something for that.
So we can only bank 3 of those, right?
Yes. You have 4 momentum points generated. You can bank 3 of them.
The security officer and me would like to know the security risks here.
Okay. So looking over the information that you've put together with your research, they are a tad xenophobic, but they're not outwardly hostile. As long as you're not bringing the galaxy's problems to their doorstep, they haven't ever turned anybody away. And I will also, since you're spending a point of momentum, you will notice that the contact logs with freighters visiting there has seriously declined in the number of visits over the last 10 years. So you have 3 more points of momentum. If that triggered a further quote unquote free information buy, or if you just want to bank those, that's entirely up to you.
I think I have a question I could add for another momentum.
Okay.
Why would somebody be interested in this colony outside of the people who live there? Is there any point of interest or?
Well, the Starfleet maps of the nebula are pretty much non-existent. However, just sort of looking at the facts, a Class M world, being inside the nebular cloud, and again we've seen examples of that in Star Trek, like Star Trek Insurrection in the Badlands, the Briar Patch. A star will sort of burn off the nebular fog in a little pocket. So you might find star systems relatively clear of the dust in close proximity to a star, but there's still in the greater region of space, you've got the nebula sort of surrounding it. The tactical advantage of a world that you don't have to live in a pressure dome on in a strategic location. So maybe someone wants it. I mean, for the Klingons, it would be a windfall to build a base if they intend to purge the nebula of pirates.
Interesting.
Well, it's also on the fringes of Klingon space, but it's also on the fringes of our space. So,
Yeah, so it might be appealing to not just the Klingons.
uh-huh.
I don't think I have any other questions unless somebody else does.
The Trekkie in me is like, God damn it, we're going to find Romulans in there. We are 100% going to find Romulans in there.
Sure, Romulans. Romulans and everything.
Ew, I stepped in Romulan.
Do we want to bank those last 2 points of momentum, or somebody else want to spend some?
So you got anything?
I'm kind of curious, and I'll use this as my excuse. So I do want to spend one of them possibly. Is there any other unusual properties or anything else that we need to be wary of as far as the composition of the nebula or the planet itself?
I will not charge you a momentum for that because there is not that information in the database.
Cool.
The Starfleet database is very sparse on that. And so again, the system, like me and some masterminds, I know we all know that system pretty well here on USP. The GM will stop you from spending a hero point foolishly. The momentum works the same way. Like there's along that line of thinking, there's nothing more to be gained. So I'm not gonna, make up some crap and charge you the momentum.
Cool. No worries. I just figured, yeah. Cool.
Okay, so we'll bank those 2 points of momentum.
I feel good going into a scene with
5.
5 momentum, y'all.
Yeah.
Maybe we won't die.
No, that's a terrible thing to say. All right, so
That's a terrible thing to say.
the Griffin drops out of warp speed, and the forward view screen is kind of filled with this spiky-looking bright blue cloud. And so this is the time for our science officer to shine. You're going to use your insight and science, and the ship will assist with its sensors and science. So the ship has sensors of 9 and science of 3. So it needs a 12 or less for a success, a 3 or less for 2 successes. The ship always has an appropriate focus. And Jonesy, if you have any appropriate focuses, you of course add that to your expanded critical threat or critical success range.
Did my roll actually go off?
So just remember to turn your focuses on so that way it counts your extra successes.
I don't see it yet. There it is.
Okay, so someone want to roll for the ship?
Roll well, since I can't roll for Crow.
Alex, do you want to roll for the ship? Because I rolled for it last time.
I was gonna trust you to do it, but I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
I got this.
Okay.
I don't got this.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
19.
Now,
Wow.
on the bright side, the 2 ways you can flex the system, you can increase the difficulty of something. You can also increase the complication range of something. Again, for the demo, I didn't want to do that. Just the way the dice have been treating us tonight, it's probably good we didn't. If there had been an expanded complication range, not only would that not be a success, it would be an additional complication. Okay, but so Dryson, you got 1 success?
Yep.
Okay, so as you are doing the pre-approach scan of the nebula, so that is the minimum number of successes you need, but you didn't generate any momentum. You do pick up, there's a navigation beacon on the edge of the nebula. You're picking up a signal, which you were not expecting to find. Nothing unusual other than the fact that the nebula scrambles subspace communications. You're not picking up any other unusual properties from out here. Other than the surprise of a nav beacon, nothing unusual sort of warning you on the sensors at this point.
Captain, I have spotted a navigation beacon. We should really use that. We should be able to follow that into the nebula.
Really? That's
I
interesting.
wonder if it's what the can I pick up the, like, make a model of it? Like, is it Federation issued? Is it standard? Is it, more of a Klingon design? Or
From this distance, you can't tell much about the beacon itself because it's fairly small and it's sort of at the edge of the nebula. Now, like the class of nebula in Wrath of Khan really screwed up the sensors. Other than the fact that the dense gas will block the sensors a little bit, there's not a sensor scrambling effect going on, but it's sort of like a flashlight at night. So this nav beacon, you're picking up the signal because you're meant to, but it's very small. So at this distance, you're not getting anything on the make of it. When the ship is closer, you should be able to do another scan and maybe figure some of that to come to an answer to that question.
Cool.
I don't trust it. I'm gonna get ready to blow it up.
my initial hypothesis is that it's left here for the occasional cargo vessels that come through to deliver goods to the colony.
Indeed. Okay. So, and again, Wiki, your character, it would make perfect sense that you would be at the tactical station, maybe running the phaser crews through some warm-up drills, because you just never know when you're going to need those phasers.
I am always prepared.
All right, so proceeding at
literally, it's one of my values: always prepared, always vigilant.
Oh, I like that one.
I am ready to blow something up at any moment.
So as the Cerulean Crown Nebula begins to fill the view screen even further, the ship is progressing in. Jonesy, why don't you go ahead and give us another scan as you're approaching the first beacon? So that is your insight and science. Somebody can roll for the ship, which would be sensors and science.
That's better. 2 successes.
Excellent. Did we get any
The ship
additional from the ship?
sensors are not having a good day.
Okay. All right. So as you get closer, you are picking up the next beacon, and there is clearly a chain of nav beacons that lead into the nebula. At close range, the difficulty was 1, so you did generate an extra point of momentum, which you can decide to bank or spend. You're a little curious about what the sensors are giving you from a close read of the nav beacon. It's not that it's unknown science, but the construction, it is a design that doesn't match anything in your ship's records. Yeah, it's not unknown materials, but the construction method and the configuration does not match anything in the database.
Hello, usually.
Yes. Did you want to spend the the momentum for extra information, or do you just want to bank it?
I actually do want to spend it.
Okay. So what is your question?
Is there any way to determine how long these have been active?
Jonesy, you're like a mind reader. Yes, in fact, that raises your eyebrows even further, almost in imitation of a certain Vulcan science officer. You do a carbon dating scan, and you estimate those beacons are at least 1,000 years old.
It's always 1,000 years. It's never like 1,002 or.
So, in other words, the Federation worlds were, in their pre-warp stage, and the Orion empires were in a state of deep decline. So in the shadow of like the Takan Empire or the Iconian civilization or the waning power of the Orions, these things were built.
I think maybe we should go check that out.
Or why though?
And they're leading to the colony. At least my suspicion is they're leading the colony based on the current trajectory.
Okay. So as you're approaching the second beacon, your window to send any messages via subspace is about to close. Is there anything you wish to have the comm officer pass back to Starfleet Command before you enter the long dark?
All of this.
Yes. Yes. That the beacon that we're currently following the navigation beacons. The beacons do not appear to be a Federation design, yada yada yada, and that they, based on our initial scans, predate any Federation or local.
Yes. Okay. Well, that'll certainly raise some eyebrows. Hopefully,
Yes.
you'll survive to tell them whatever you're planning.
We need for the Enterprise to have as much information as possible when they come to rescue us.
It's always that bloody Enterprise. Always that bloody Enterprise. All right. So, it is going to be a couple hours of nerve-wracking flight through this nebula, which silences your subspace communications, following these ancient beacons. So just to see, this is going to be something that we're going to roll to avoid expanding our complication range. Let's have a daring or insight, because maybe you can think yourself out of it, or maybe you're just bold. And security.
Yes.
Difficulty with a difficulty of 1. So if you don't make it, it will increase your complication range for the next scene by 1. So then a natural 19 or 20 will be bad stuff.
Are we all rolling that?
Yes.
I got 3 successes.
You said daring
wait.
and security.
I should have gotten 2 successes. I forgot to toggle off my focus.
Oh, okay. So 2 successes, which is 1 more than you needed.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
I'm not feeling very daring or secure.
Okay. So here.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, goodness gracious. All right. So just to make things interesting for our closing scene here, we're going to say that the doctor, by dint of no successes, and our security chief, by dint of that complication, will be feeling a little paranoid.
I was paranoid before we got in here, so yes.
Well, that's good when the players feel that. But so we're going to express that mechanically with you both will have an expanded complication range of 19 to 20 on the D20 rolls for your test. So a little extra pressure as we proceed to our final scene. However,
I need to change my complication range to 2?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
However, our intrepid science officer, he's too curious to be afraid, and so he does not have that complication. And he has generated an extra momentum, which he may bank or spend.
I'm not afraid. I'm cautious.
I'm afraid.
Right. So, and just again, it's up to you how you want to do it. Remember that when we transition from the ship to the planet, we're going to change scene. So you will lose a point of momentum as we do a scene shift. So unless you really have a burning need to spend that extra momentum, Jonesy,
I'm banking it so that we don't.
That way you're still at 5 when you go down to the planet. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So the ship finally arrives. The only intact planetoid orbiting the main sequence star is the planet dubbed Fairhaven. There is some debris to indicate there may have been other planetary bodies at one time. But you sort of come out into a clear area. Again, the star has sort of burned a clear patch in the nebula. So the area around that star and the Fairhaven colony are relatively clear of the nebular dust. So your communicators should not be interfered with to or from the planet. Lieutenant Junior Grade Mendez is reporting no response to hails. Our science officer, if you'd like to take a scan of the planet, would be your insight in science. And of course, the ship can assist with sensors in science.
I definitely like to scan the planet.
Ship rolled a 6.
I roll
Okay.
2 successes.
Okay. So that's a total of 3, 1 from the ship and 2 from Science Officer Dreisen. Okay. So the difficulty to scan from orbit is only a 1. So you have 2 extra points of momentum. So what your scan uncovers, the colony area, in other words, you're only picking up signs of technology in a fairly small area. And again, that also seems to be the only signs of like construction materials. Most of the planet is scanning devoid of any signs of civilization. The signs of civilization seem to be centered around a mountain lake. You are scanning 40 to 50 structures on the south side of the lake. On the north side, there appear to be metallic hulls of starships of an older design. There is a dam and a sort of you're picking up scans of pump technology as sort of a river flows out of that lake. You're not detecting any life signs in the vicinity of what appears to be the colony. There's also an odd atmospheric reading in the vicinity of the colony. The air temperature is 10 degrees cooler than it should be based on the scans of the atmospheric conditions and like the lake effect on the air. There's an unknown discrepancy in the sensors that it can't account for. But the temperature variance makes no sense according to the ship's computer.
I don't like any of that.
Me either. We're about to get attacked by space zombies.
Nope.
Telling you, it's Romulans.
Follow-up questions based on my extra momentum.
So and don't forget you have 2 momentum points if you want to spend for extra information. You can do that.
Yep. Follow-up question. Do I see any other residual technology that matches the beacons on the planet itself or under the initial surface of the planet?
Okay. So you do not find anything that matches the technology. However, a deeper scan indicates that there are several structures that are, again, you do a carbon dating scan. So it's not so much the technology level, but there are vastly older structures in amongst the colony's construction area. Like there's a large building on the east shore of the lake that appears to have an amphitheater next to it. Those are anywhere, again, from orbit, and it's not really technology. So your carbon dating is a little less accurate. Somewhere between 350 and 400 years old.
Which predates the settlement by at least 200 years.
Yes.
Cool. One more momentum. Any suggestions, team?
It says, I do believe whatever is affecting the crew means we should keep our landing party small. So
We just need Ray. We'll be okay.
Sorry, Mr. Dreisen, if you and Stravik and Hathaway and Ray.
His name's Ray Ray.
Ray Ray.
Ray.
Lieutenant Ray Ray. Oh, I did forget. Your sensor scans. This would have been part of your freebie, not, and you still have one more point of momentum if you decide to spend it. Because of the weird atmospheric conditions, normally beaming from a transporter pad would reduce the difficulty from 1 to 0, but because of the weird atmospheric conditions, the difficulty is 1. Now, you have competent transporter operators, so that's not a problem. The problem becomes because you have to roll for it, there's the risk of failure and or complication. So you
transporter accident. Let's go.
You could beam down or take a shuttle. The captain is leaving that to your discretion.
I mean, I am here for some transporter accidents.
And so, did we get any other life signs on the planet at all, or?
For the other points of momentum, there are signs of animal life, but you're not scanning anything within 3 kilometers of the colony.
But I mean, like outside the colony, did we find like the
Yes.
scans of what could be the colonists outside?
You're not picking up anything that registers as sapient. You're not picking up any signs of technology outside the colony area. When you sort of do a scan of the area, most of it is 4-legged, which isn't to say there aren't 4-legged races in the Federation, but you're not picking up any signs of intelligent life outside the colony or inside.
Couldn't the transporters just beam us outside of the disruption zone and just have us walk in?
You could walk in, yes. So I mean, it's only a 3-kilometer hike. That's not unmanageable.
So what does the security officer think? My initial thinking is if we take the shuttle down, if we do find any civilians for some reason, because we currently can't find them, but if we do find any, then we'd have shuttle to bring them back up.
I mean, taking a shuttle down and landing just outside of the perimeter of this strange bubble is probably the safest option.
I mean, this is kind of like a recon point too that we can use as a base camp.
Yeah. The player wants transporter accidents. The character does not.
I don't trust the transporter with this nebula around us in the.
Well, that's the thing. It's not, the nebula wouldn't interfere with your transporters at all. It's whatever's going on by the colony that the sensors can't make heads or tails of that would make transporting into the colony risky.
Yeah, I don't want to transport down and wind up inside Ray.
It's not that I don't trust the transporters, it's just that I don't trust my dice.
Would it make you feel better if I rolled for the transporter officer?
No.
Oh, no, probably not.
You don't want a Tuvix situation?
Oh, that's not good.
Hey, justice for Tuvix, man.
One of my friends loathes Captain Janeway for precisely that reason. He has never forgiven her for Tuvix.
All the Rikers, collect them all. So who's flying the shuttle down?
Well, here's the thing to remember. Everyone has a con rating, and depending on how you're doing, so if you're flying down, under control, that would be control. If you're doing hotshot piloting, that would be daring. But so everyone has the ability to pilot the shuttle. It's just a question of how. And granted, your pool is currently maxed and will drop to 5 when you arrive on the planet, as we do a scene shift. So you have enough momentum that should something go awry, you could buy your way out of it, as it were.
My con is 2. So
But again, added to your command or daring. Again, you're not flying crazy just yet, so you could use your command unless you're really good.
you mean
know,
control?
Or I'm sorry, control. I keep.
That's
yes.
only a 9.
Okay, so, but 9 and 2 is 11, right? Or you have a 3.
I have a 9 and a 2.
Okay. Right. So that's 11. 11 or less gets you a success. Do you have any focuses that are applicable?
No.
Okay. So now here's the thing. If you recall, the shuttles have a sort of co-pilot seat. Someone could attempt to assist you. It's only going to be a difficulty 1 task to fly the shuttle down to the planet.
All right, Doctor, what's your control and your what are your guys' numbers? I don't hear any speaking.
I'm tied with you.
Okay.
I have a 10 and a 1. Control of 10 and a con of 1.
So 11s it is.
11s it is. 11sies, yay!
That's a 55% chance. We'll be all right.
Right. Again, remember, the main pilot is going to roll 2d20. The assister is going to roll 1d20. The shuttle, you can use the shuttle's computers.
Autopilot, let's go.
So I mean, you're rolling 4d20 without buying extra and just need 1 success.
I
So
believe that the science officer should lead this driving mission because the science officer is the one that doesn't have a 2 on their complication range right now.
oh, there's that bloody complication range. Ray has a 2 on his complication range too, if it makes you feel any better.
It doesn't. Ray's supposed to be better than that.
Well, I was rolling for Ray, so that's all you get.
Yep.
Or you can beam down outside. You can beam down outside the area and with no risk.
Nope, we're
And just
we're
hike-
taking
and
the
hike
shuttle.
in. Okay.
We have decided on the shuttle. The shuttle's coming with us.
Okay. Fair
Shuttle
enough.
accident is right up there with transporter accident. So yeah.
That's right.
But I feel like we're going to be able to walk away from a transporter accident more, or a shuttle accident more than a transporter accident.
Whew.
Depends on who's on the shuttle.
Like, my legs will still be attached to my legs.
So
Not
someone
necessarily.
else.
So, so should I roll?
Yep.
And again, what somebody can sit in the co-pilot seat and assist, and you can use the ship systems to assist as well.
Okay. Who's
Who's
going to
this
roll
is-
for the ship?
I'll roll for the ship.
Okay.
Do a 9 or less for the ship.
Come on, roll 20. 15.
No.
Okay, it just means it didn't help.
2 successes.
Oh, see there? You guys are all worried. So not only does Dryson get you safely to the surface, with 1 more success than he needed, you can replace that lost momentum point from the scene change, and you're at 6 momentum as you stand on the planet's surface, where bad things are probably about to happen. I don't even know.
Romulan zombies.
Okay.
Rombies.
Mom's
Rom zombies.
Oh
yep.
no! Oh.
Right. So it's a mountainous area, a chance to show off those lovely field jackets that you see in Rathacon. You got all nice and warm as you approach that area. In older Star Trek systems, like technology often had like bonuses and things. Because this is because the mechanics are a little simpler, the tricorder simply allows you to do things that you wouldn't ordinarily do. Again, going to my Mutants and Masterminds as well, like having super senses, you get to use your perception for things that you wouldn't normally get to use it for. So you guys land. Are you going to land at the colony, or are you landing outside? Was that your plan, to land outside the zone and walk in, or you want to land right at the colony?
I think we planned to land right outside the weird zone and walk
Okay.
in.
Okay.
Yes,
R-
no?
Yes,
correct?
yes, and the plan was to land. So the weird quote unquote weird zone is spherical in nature. So I wanted to land on the side of the sphere that's closest to the one of the old buildings. One of the
Okay. So that'll be on the east side.
Yeah.
Okay. So the shuttle sets down. The trees are swaying in the wind. Other than that, and the beeps of your own personal equipment, the site is eerily quiet as you exit the shuttle and begin approaching. So as you're walking, you can use your tricorder and scan. You can simply just try to observe with the old eyeballs. So, if you want to sort of describe your approach.
I'm totally using my tricorder.
And that makes perfect sense. Right.
So I'm using my eyeballs
Okay.
and like focusing on infiltration because that's what I have.
Right. So Dryson, you can use insight and science, and Stravik, you can use insight and security.
I'm standing behind Visya.
A wise choice.
Get my hippo spray out.
You just say your
Shoot.
hippo spray?
Yes.
The hypo spray.
No, the hypo spray's for the human staff officers.
Okay.
I got 2 successes.
All right. So from up close with the tricorder, it's not that the tricorder is more powerful than the ship sensors, but now you are like right on the edge of it all. As you're approaching the zone of the strange readings, you are not detecting any animal life signs at all, not even insects. And you can actually, you're scanning, you can also feel the temperature kind of dropping as you're progressing into this area that's around the colony.
Does it still fall within M-class ratings?
It does still fall within M-class ratings, but the fact, you're kind of a little nervous because the sensors can't explain the odd
Why?
temperature anomaly. Yeah, there's something, it's too small to be a weather front, and it's not moving. So if there were some natural phenomenon that would explain the temperature drop, it shouldn't be stationary. Okay, so and that was 2 successes. So you have a bonus moment. You have built up a bonus point of momentum, and the pool is full. Is there anything you want to spend that for?
Is this effect evenly dispersed across the, or is it seem to be a slightly higher concentration in one region of the colony over the other?
The deeper in towards the colony you go, the stronger the effect seems to be. And Stravik, as you're sort of eyeballing the situation, you can see modern prefab structures around several stone buildings. And your combat eye is very sharp. You don't see any movement other than the trees blowing in the wind. So
I definitely
it's
share.
eerily empty.
Well, I'm not afraid of cold, so I will be the first to step inside.
Doctor, do you have any of the anything that you have handy in case the temperature drops too low for us? Anything you can help it? Basically, did you pack the stuff you need to treat?
Do I have hypowarmia spray?
Hypowarmia.
Hypowarmia. Why, yes, the hypo is a wonderfully magical device. Yes, you could whip up something to combat the effects of cold should that become an issue.
Damn it, Bob, I'm a doctor, not a meteorologist.
As you're approaching the edge of the colony, I need everyone to give me a control and security roll.
I don't know. Do not like.
Are there any focuses we should look for here? Two successes. Ah.
I also had
Okay.
2 successes.
Okay, well, the difficulty of the task was 1. All of you feel a strange compulsion, but it doesn't make any sense as you kind of commit, like, you feel almost drawn toward the lake. So again, 1 success was all you needed. So Shravik
Or the
and
light,
Hathaway,
you said?
towards the lake.
Oh, the lake. Gotcha. I thought you said the light, and I was like,
No,
light?
that's a bad sign. That's a bad sign.
Not a moth.
It is my medical opinion that you do not go near the light.
Okay, but so everyone sort of retains control himself. Hathaway and Shravik, do you want to spend your extra momentum for information?
I'd like to spend mine for information.
Okay, as you're sort of scanning the area, like when you look at the stone building that sits on the lake shore with the amphitheater in front of it, you almost feel like a surge in that need to go to the lake.
Do I see any footprints that are leading to the lake?
From this distance, no.
I will remark about that to my compatriots.
Is there any disturbance happening on the surface of the lake?
Other than a slight rippling from the wind in the surface of the water, no.
Interesting. Okay. Okay, well, I'll stop looking at that amphitheater thing.
Okay.
Don't look at it. I'll cover Ray Ray's eyes.
Okay. Yes, he's like, What am I doing? I didn't roll Ray Rays.
We should have made one of them Cody. We messed up.
Actually,
Well, you know,
Ray Ray had no successes. Ray Ray is slowly walking forward as the rest of you stop to discuss it. He's walking towards the amphitheater.
I'm going to reach out and stop Ray Ray.
Okay. As you sort of run up and grab him, he sort of looks like through you, like he's not really seeing you.
Doctor.
I'm gonna run up and can I give him a quick examination?
Yes.
And I'm gonna use my psychiatry to see what sort of mental shenanigans are going on in his noodle.
His noodle.
The official diagnosis is he's broken. He broke the red shirt.
I rolled no successes.
I got 2
Not
successes.
Okay. So 2 successes shows you that his brain chemistry is all out of whack. It's almost reading like he should be unconscious just based on the neurological impulses, slow speed traveling. You're not sure why he's walking when according to your scans he should be unconscious. But he does the like I said, the brain chemistry is all over the place, and you're not sure, 1, how he's awake, and 2, why he's determined to walk in the direction he's walking.
Can I think of a way to make this go away outside of rendering him unambulatory?
Well, your problem becomes anything you do is likely to that would stop what he's doing would be likely to render him unconscious. Which that's not necessarily a terrible thing.
No, I mean his brain already thinks he's unconscious. We just need to get his body to cooperate.
Yeah.
I'll look at the other 2 and say the lights are on, but nobody's home. And I'm gonna sedate Ray Ray.
Okay. Or you can lower him to the ground.
Yeah, I'll let him down. Easy.
Okay. That's very nice. So now there's 3 of you.
Mhm. Is there a structure somewhere that I can I'd like to leash our puppy if we can.
Okay. You by this point you are close to some of the prefab buildings that you assume the colonists put up.
Okay.
So it's
Yes.
just a short walk to one of those.
I'm gonna drag him over there and sort of tie him to a building so that
Okay.
he can't suddenly become consciously unconscious and walk into the lake again.
Well, that makes sense. I'll buy that. I'll buy that. Okay.
A pat on the head.
Take a few moments and secure him, and then what?
I guess we need to go towards the amphitheater and see what's going on over there.
Okay.
I'd like to search a few of these buildings first.
Okay.
That's a good plan.
So let's have, and then this is one where you can, if you guys want to assist in the search, insight and security.
I would like to assist in this search.
Okay. So you're gonna roll a single d20 and want to get under that combo. If you have any relevant focuses, that means your security score expands your critical success range.
Don't think I do.
Nope. So I'll assist as well.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I got 2 successes on 1 dice. That's pretty cool. Oh, I
I
rolled an
also
extra
have
1.
2. I also have 2 successes.
Okay.
Jonesy's
So-
gone in the lake.
Hashtag spoiler alert. So as you're poking around in the colony buildings, it is eerily orderly. Everything is packed away neatly. There might be a light coating of dust, but it doesn't appear as though they rushed off. There's no half-eaten meals on tables, no signs of struggle or disarray. Everything is very orderly and organized. And I need Hathaway and Shravik to give me an insight and security.
Oh no.
Nothing.
No!
You gotta keep them all sedated.
Well, this is a problem for the doctor because you're all investigating the colony buildings, and the doctor, well, he suddenly notices he's alone. Where is everyone? Where is everyone?
This is why I don't like going on field missions.
I agree. Where am I?
Yeah, where is everybody?
That's a good question.
Swimming with the fishes.
Sounds as though the doctor needs to do some investigating. So why don't you give us how are you going to investigate? So if you would use your insight or reason as your attribute, and then if you're looking for them with your eyeballs, that would be security or command. If you're scanning for life forms, that would be science or medicine.
I'm gonna scan. I'm gonna look for the chips I put in them during the regular checkups.
And do you have any focuses that would increase your critical success rate?
Emergency medicine.
Emergency!
There you go.
Two successes.
Okay. So you detect, as you start scanning with your tricorder, because this eyeball thing isn't working for you, you detect the life signs of your fellow Starfleet officers at the backside of that amphitheater.
Oh no.
So they're about 100 meters away, which isn't terrible. And for those standing on the edge of forever, why don't we go ahead and have a control and security roll to maintain your wits. So
Captain
that's,
Stanford, we got to nuke it from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
you do know how I love to put Easter eggs in here. Okay,
So-
so Wiki and Jonesy, give me that control and security roll.
One success. Oh no.
No successes.
Okay, so
My shirt was
there's
red
a-
after all.
There's a whole pool full of momentum. Do you wish to buy any additional dice?
Yes, please.
Okay, so again, we can do this one at a time. So you can spend one of those momentum points to purchase one extra d20. You could spend 3 to buy 2, or you could spend all 6 to buy 3 bonus d20s. So again, you can do that one at a time, or you can
Oh,
see how.
sorry. I hit the button on accident. Ignore that. Doesn't count. I'd say 1.
Okay.
I don't want to be hard. 1 success.
Okay. Okay. So Shrevik and Dryson, you're kind of in the back of your mind. There is that sense of self-preservation that is screaming at you to stop. You're not sure how you wound up here, but at the back of that amphitheater is a stone chute that just dumps you into the lake, and you stop and you look at each other like, what are we doing? And you're not sure, and you can kind of hear the doctor in the distance sort of hollering as he is running up to you to see what's going on.
I cannot express enough how much I want to shoot a phaser down through that hole.
Have I made it there?
You are rushing up, and they sort of they stop themselves. They stop themselves from taking the plunge. Oh, sorry, I gotta take my momentum out of there. Jonesy bought a die. It makes me crazy that this thing hides behind this dice roller. So we're gonna hide that.
Which
What's that?
hide which?
The toolbar in Roll20, because of my location down at the bottom, the toolbar for the dice is blocking my access to the chips.
Oh, you can zoom out your Roll20 window in the top right corner. That usually puts more distance between that and the. Oh no, it doesn't. Just kidding.
All right. Well, in the interest of
I know
time-
what you can do. Hit the setting button and then go to audio and video. Go to video display and hit player video avatar
no.
size to names only.
Hold on 1 sec. That'll crash. All right. Well, we'll just roll with it. Yeah, it's getting late. We're not that worried about it. You're down to 5. We're all good there. Okay. So, Hathaway, you've caught up. Your friends are standing there, confused. So, give me an insight and security to see what we know. Difficulty 2. Spot something amiss.
Someone scan that hole before I shoot it.
I thought we were investigating the town. Why did you all leave? 2. I got 2 successes.
Oh, doctor coming in clutch.
Okay. So, Hathaway, you got 2 successes.
Indeed.
As you're sort of looking down into the lake, you kind of do a double take. You could have swore you just saw movement in the silt bottom of the lake, like a giant eye just blinked.
We gotta go. There's an eyeball at the bottom of the lake, and I'm pretty sure it ate whoever lived here. So
Can I adjust the sensor on the tricorder and try again?
You can, yes.
set your tricorder for zombie space hippos.
I was gonna go with space jellyfish, but okay. One success.
Okay, so that is enough to readjust. So now give me a roll to do a scan. So that'd be insight or reason in science. And if you have applicable focus.
I have xenobiology.
Okay, yes, that's absolutely an applicable focus.
And 3 successes.
Okay, so because this is a life form of which you've never encountered, 3 was the target number, but you managed to get that. There is something that almost fills the lake bottom. It is a massive life form. It does not appear to have a centralized nervous system, yet somehow there is neural activity, and you kind of feel that pressing on your psyche. Just in the interest of time, because it is a little after 10, you with your communicators can call for a beam out, and the ship will sort of rescue you from the monster in the bottom of the lake. But yeah, it's one of those combat ran a little long and it wasn't sure how this would take. So you basically, unfortunately, the colony is no longer there. So when you beam back to the ship, and the Klingons have shown up to claim the system, I guess it's up to you as to whether or not you're going to tell them about the monster.
Can I blow up the monster instead?
You can, because nothing says goodbye like a photon torpedo from orbit.
Well, no, I was thinking more. I want to take the 2 phasers I have, wire them together to overload, and throw it down the chute.
I feel like overloading phasers is a convention caveat that has to happen every time up in Star Trek for a convention. Someone's overloading a phaser. It works. It's a genre term. Yes, you may do that. Now, unfortunately, that sadly will not be enough to fully kill the monster. So you might want to still feed a torpedo from orbit.
We'll let the Klingons deal with it.
Or let the Klingons deal with it.
I'll throw the hippo spray in there.
So I apologize. I apologize for the abbreviated ending, but we were a little over on time, and I wanted to sort of wrap that up. So
we can't forget Ray Ray though.
No, you beam him up.
Okay.
Well, Zal, I mean, if you gotta fire more torpedoes, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm not paying for the torpedoes.
We don't pay for stuff in the Federation.
Right.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Again, it's for old school gamers like me. There's a lot of new mechanical ideas going on in this game, but I like them. I think they're intriguing. Hopefully you're intrigued as well. I know there's a bunch of scenarios like on YouTube. The people at Modiphius are great if you have questions. So hopefully you enjoyed this little romp through my imaginary corner of the Star Trek universe.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Thanks for tuning in. This is my first one shot. Oh, got a follower. Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you for the follow, Brexton, for spending some time with us tonight.
Yeah. So again, hopefully that went well. Hopefully you're intrigued enough to check it out. I like I said, I strongly recommend the system. To get ready to run it. This is like the 4th time I've run the system. I was doing some one shots with my at-home groups, and we did some Starfleet, we did some Klingons. There's a lot of cool stories to tell in Star Trek, and this system will help you do it.
I bet Jason is a great Klingon.
Well, actually, he hasn't, because of the holiday schedule, he hasn't had a chance to play test yet, but he's expressed interest, so I'm sure he'll. You met our friend Jeff Stockwell, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, did he enjoy being a Klingon? It's definitely in his wheelhouse. So thanks for tuning in tonight. I'm not usually available Wednesday nights, but I'm glad this worked out. I want to give everybody else a chance to say goodbye and plug anything they want to plug. We'll start with Alex.
Yeah, thanks for coming out, everybody. I'll just give the news around the network real quick. Next Monday, we'll be back to finish up Silence Night, our Christmas special, with the Bumble of the Five Armies. It's going to be a ton of fun. Tuesday, the Gemstars will be back, and I'll let Wiki speak about that some more. And then tomorrow, we have a new blog post coming up talking about just how 2022 went and some of the stuff we have in store for you all in 2023. So be sure to check that out at theuntoldStoriesProject.com. Also, if you haven't yet, please check us out over on Patreon at patreon.com/UntoldStoriesProject. And if you're watching us over on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe, do all the fun YouTube things. And then next Wednesday, we don't have a one-shot. We are done with one-shots for now.
What?
Yeah, I know. It feels like it's been forever. We will be resuming our Monday and Tuesday regularly scheduled programming. So thank you so much to all the GMs who ran one-shots for us this holiday season. Thank you to all the players who took the extra time and really helped us do what we love to do, which is showcase role-playing games that don't get the attention they deserve. So we did that with Low Life and Star Trek Adventures, and we had some Deadlands, we had
Power
some Modern
Rangers.
Age, we had Power Rangers. We did a whole bunch of one-shots the last few months. Yeah, and we can't wait to bring more systems to you when we can. I'll pass it down to Wiki.
I got nothing except Tuesday nights is Jumpstars, which is our Magical Girls, Mutants and Masterminds, and I like to keep our Magical Girls on their toes, so you should come check that out. Jonesy, I almost called you Bob.
He is now Bob.
We are all Bob. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I had a great time. I enjoyed being Bob, as we all should. The dice hated me half the episode, and the dice loved me when it was science-y, which is pretty on point for Star Trek, I think. So, no, I had a great time. And other than that, thanks everyone for tuning in. As Alex mentioned, on the social medias, please do us a favor and let people know where to find us and what we're doing. We have some pretty cool stuff planned, so I'm very much looking forward to what 2023 brings for us.
And if you weren't here from the beginning, I want to throw a shout out again to Jonesy for this awesome overlay. Like the alert status changes. Like, thank you, Jonesy, for adding to the game. I appreciate that. And all right, I guess that's it, right? Okay. Well, thanks everybody. See you around the network.